Alright. Well, we're on chapter 11. We'll start with that. Dang it, I forgot to look at the back of the book. I gotta set a reminder. I keep on forgetting. Okay. So we'll go ahead and start. So, as if social justice warriors weren't already enough of a threat to free speech, now they're making offerings to pagan gods right in the open and cheering each other on. Earlier this week, one of these so-called crusaders made a video asking for me to be physically harmed in response to our reporting on the border crisis. Daisy Dune, The Final Word, Freedom First News Network. The waves caused the ship to rise and fall rhythmically before breaking on the shore. Whoops. Forsetti relaxed on the deck with Balder, drinking ale and laughing about old memories. He had gotten used to the mental discomfort of his old memories overlapping the new reality that all the other gods seemed to recall. He had spent a lot of time on... Dang it, I forgot to pull up my little cheat sheet. Sorry, guys. Where are you? There you are. Noffle toffle? That's right, I like that word. Or wait, is that the same word? No, that's not the same one. Hold on. Well, I don't see it on there. Ring horny. That's what it is. Yeah, I like Noffle Toffle. It just sounds funny. Ring horny lately, enjoying the company of his friend/father. As Forsetti's own legend grew, he noticed Balder gaining strength as well by his association. They hoped that Nanna, Balder's wife, would rise soon, but so far had not seen her. I haven't had a flying like that since Odin disguised himself and challenged Thor and I in the feasting hall. He defeated the both of us and much mead was drunk that night. Balder was reminiscing. Flyting was a hobby of the wise gods and involved insulting each other to poetic verse, and the winner was determined by the crowd's reaction. Balder had been a gifted flyter, and his bouts with Loki have been the subject of retellings and wood carvings in their time. Flighting. Okay, thank you. Loki, again. Why does he keep coming up? Yet I haven't seen him. Father, Forsetti interrupted. Where is Loki? I haven't heard he is awake, but I haven't seen... Oh, I've heard he is awake, but I haven't seen him in any halls. Who is... Hold on. He comes from time to time, but he is largely isolated to working in the other realms for Odin. Working for Odin? That's odd. Loki rarely did anything without being forced. What kind of work? Gathering information from what I understood. As a shapeshifter, he's always been able to travel Midgard easily. He reports on what's happening there and influences their people to remember us and restore us to power. I see, Forseti said. Are we sure the giant is to be trusted? He's caused much mischief, as well as killing you and blocking your return from hell. Yes, he is quite the prankster. Odin assured us that he has him under control, that he holds power over him. I don't trust Loki, but I trust in the All-Father. Has Signa? Sigyn. Return? Who? Sujin, his wife. Oh, yes, of course. No, I don't believe she has. By now, he was used to seeing the look of an Aesir suddenly remembering things long forgotten and not from their current reality. Sigyn wasn't a part of the narrative on Earth. If Loki was influencing events, why hadn't his wife been a part of the stories? Why hadn't Forseti? The boat continued to rock gently, and Balder seemed content to rest. He bid him farewell and began to walk back to his own hall. He wanted to give the matter more thought and didn't wish to cause discomfort to his father if his thoughts didn't match the knowledge he currently had. Racer rhymes with Acer. He stood over the mirrored glass and offered the blood required to see the world, pushing aside the indicators of those asking for judgments and looking through the interconnected web of his followers. He looked for information on Loki. He wasn't able to find the trickster himself, but could see his influence. The web of worshippers and celebrants of Loki was even heavier than Forseti's, causing him to wonder at what Loki had accomplished. He focused on the individual dots but couldn't find any actively celebrating or discussing Loki aside from seeing an occasional writing of his name on a wall or book. Realizing that he wasn't going to get anywhere that way, he retreated from the glass and went to his throne to try remembering his interaction with the giant. Thanks, Sangi. The biting of Fenrir? Fenrir, that was the first I spent any time with Loki. He knew something was going on. The morning had been cool, and a light wind blew over Lake Amsfanaster. It's not on my list. Dub! How are you doing? I hope you're having a good night. Thanks for stopping by. The Acer had summoned the great wolf to the island of That's not on my Ligvi. That's good. My night is better than what my day was. I've already shared about my day. Don't forget to enter the raffle, ! raffle. There's only like 1 week left to enter, so I don't know if Sunshine's still here, so let me see if I can figure out these shoutouts. Hold on, I gotta find her. Okay. Let's see if it'll work for me. There we go. I think last week I was having trouble with them and I could not get them to work. Alright. The Acer had summoned the great wolf to the island of Langvi to continue their game with him. The beast arrived along with his father Loki. As their boat slid over the inky black water, Fenrir approached the bow and leaped to the shore. "What do you have this time?" he asked, his voice guttural and booming. I didn't make his voice booming. "A different approach," Tyr responded. "You've bested our strongest chains and fetters, so we wish to try our strongest cloth." "So many witnesses to this challenge." Fenrir looked around and let his gaze linger on the assembled gods. Odin, Tyr, Freyr, and Thor stood at the front along with Forseti, with other Aesers attending behind them. Oh, that's cool. That would be cool to like be a wolf. "Word of your great strength has spread. When you broke the great chain, Dormy, pieces flew so far as to take your legend along anywhere they landed." Hey, Loud Bro! Thanks for the raid! I might change the sound on my raids. How was your stream? Was it good? See that one night y'all stayed up like super late. That's good. That's good. Did you get clips of them? Cause maybe I'll go watch them, you know. That's good. All right, I'll have to check it out. I was in Cammy's stream earlier. I watched him for a bit. Which I didn't realize Cammy is a big animal person too. Yeah, so well, I had asked him because sometimes he streams in the evening times too, but I just happened to be able to go today because my morning was canceled because of snow and stuff. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to say this right. Is it charisma? I don't even know. Thanks for coming here, even though I butchered your name. I'm so sorry. Thanks for coming. Yeah, so I have 4 cats and a dog too. I'm hoping to like I'll I'm hoping to get a webcam soon too, and when I do, I might show my pets. Yeah, he said he never experienced snow either. So I don't know. Are y'all like, do y'all live near him too? Charismatic. Thanks, Sangi. I could call you whatever I want. I don't know. Nerdy, how are you doing? I don't have to redeem yet. I'm waiting for my stuff before getting the redeem. Alright, I'll call you charismatic. There we go. Thank you for coming. I'm so glad that you're here. We've already started reading. Oh. I'm like a broken record at this time, but I just don't want anybody to miss. To enter the raffle, do the exclamation point raffle. There's 1 week left. Next week we'll be doing the giveaway or whatever. So wait, Laubra, I didn't know y'all had a dog. I don't think I've ever seen our dog. I've seen the cats. One of my cats is part Maine Coon. Sangi, you do have a lot of tickets. Okay, so in my Discord, I've been updating it. I've been trying to do it like once a week. Oh yeah, Sangi, you already seen it. Currently you have 22, but that's not including from yesterday or anything. So, yes. It's Max dog? What kind of dog is it? But yeah, you have the entries because of the gifted subs and stuff. Because each gifted sub is a additional, you know. I'm so sorry. I just looked at my Discord under the pets. Yeah, so each gifted sub that you gifted was an additional entry. Oh. Wait, they be getting a chance of getting 2 books? Oh, I see because of your book and stuff. I mean, we could possibly do something with that next Saturday, for sure. If that's what you're wanting to do. So apparently Seth is he's not mad. Okay, he put a like GIF. And it says, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. There you go, Dub. You know what? I do know somebody that is wanting to get that book. I might mention it to her. Cause she like really loves like Iron Flame and all that, so. Alright, we'll continue. Sangi, is your book on Kindle Unlimited too? Not yet. Okay. Loki stepped ashore as the boat stopped. A cloth, you say? What challenges a bit of fabric? Frey. I think Frey's a dude. See for yourself, replied Frey. Loki took the cloth and tried to break it. Unable to, after much effort, the Aesir took it and tried to rip it as well. Unable to, even with Thor and Odin pulled against each other. That is true, Sengi. I kind of figured. I don't believe my fame will grow by tearing a bit of cloth. If it was made with trickery, however, I don't want it on my legs. Fenrir growled. Fenrir, yeah. There is no trickery here. If you are truly the wolf of prophecy, you'll be able to break such a thin band. If not, you will have proven that you are nothing for us to fear and we will release you, Odin teased. I know a thing or two about tricks, Fenrir. I don't like this, Loki said, not taking his eyes off the band. If I am unable to break free, I feel that it would be a long time until you release me. Instead of questioning my courage, I will accept if one of you will place your hand in my mouth as a show of good faith. None of the gods moved, and Forseti could have sworn Odin leaned backwards just a hair. A second later, Tyr lifted his right arm and let Fenrir take his hand in his mouth. The gods bound Fenrir's legs with the ribbon, anchoring it to a massive boulder. Fenrir strained against his bindings, but was unable to snap a single thread. The mythical materials made of impossible ingredients held. The gods cheered and smiled at each other except Tyr. Forseti was watching Tyr as he closed his eyes, knowing what was coming. Fenrir closed his mouth, taking Tyr's hand. He lashed out again, but Tyr had backpedaled as soon as his arm was free. Fenrir lashed out, attempting to bite anyone foolish enough to get near. Thor strolled forwards with a sword, wedging it into Fenrir's giant mouth. With the hilt on his bottom jaw and the point pressuring the roof of his mouth, Fenrir was unable to bite. He howled in rage and sadness. "What are you doing?" Loki cried out. He tried to help his son, but the other gods held him back as the wolf was anchored to yet another, stronger boulder. "You can't just leave him here. Why not just kill him? Forseti, you are said to be wise in judgment. I demand judgment for this deception." Forseti looked to Loki and nodded. He walked away from Fenrir and signaled all to follow. On the other side of the island, the cries of the wolf were still heard, but able to be spoken over. Loki laid out his argument that the Aesir must be punished for giving false information as well as the cruelty of the punishment they had bestowed on Fenrir, despite him not having committed any crime other than being born. Forseti considered the argument and responded, "I agree with Loki that Aesir must not be allowed to spread false information and need be punished. As it happens, Tyr has already paid the price agreed upon by the parties." Fenrir outlined that if it were a trick, his payment would be the hand of a god, which he received. Fenrir had been bound because of the prophecy of him devouring the All-Father. The gods can't kill Finir and defile the land, knowing that he is innocent so far. I totally forgot to do this. Let me do the shout out for Loud Bros. Dang it. There you go. If you're not following them, I would go follow them. They're pretty funny. I really enjoyed their streams and whatnot. And actually, they kind of are the ones that, like, I don't know, they somehow discovered me before I even was streaming. So so yeah, so they're great. They're fun to talk to and everything. And I think they're, like I said, I think they're hilarious. So, very entertaining. Did you really? Was it like my debut stream that you seen on there? Because I feel like y'all were talking to me before then. But I could be wrong, because, you know, my memory's always... Oh, yes, the avatar reveal! There we go. I did do a reveal. Yeah. Wait, was it Mama Puma? I don't know, because, like, that night, I think it was, like, Spoons and Mama Puma, like, I think everybody, like, came at that time. It was crazy. Yeah. I had no idea what was going on. I literally was just talking to myself and reading to myself basically during those times. Yeah, I love Sunshine. She's great. That was the other thing I was going to add. See, I need to write my ideas down because I always forget. I'm like writing, sorry. Alright. Going back. Did I read that? Tyr has already paid the price agreed upon the parties. Finir outlined that if it were a trick, his payment would be the hand of a god, which he received. Finir had been bound because of the prophecy of him devouring the All-Father. The gods can't kill Finir and defile their lands, knowing that he is innocent so far. Can't we at least take the sword out? Loki was pleased. No, Aesir. Whoops. Sorry. No, Aesir would put their hand near the Sun Eater, and you are unable to remove it. You are welcome to try, but I fear you would only cause more harm. Forseti's memory faded away as he watched Loki examining the sword for a way to release it while the drool from the wolf began to form a river below. He was quite upset, understandably. My judgment was fair, though. Loki remained cold to me from there. He did go on to be involved in the death of Baldur. Those are the last interactions I remember with him. All the 9 realms felt the death of Baldur, while some of the Aesir rode off to Hel to beg the release of his soul or birth children to enact vengeance on the perpetrators. for Seti had been tasked with judgment. Vengeance was temporary. Pleading with the goddesses of death was a hope, for Seti's judgments were final. The narrative had been established, and the stories told throughout Asgard. Balder had dreamed that his end was coming. Odin traveled to Hel and saw that they were preparing a feast for his arrival. Frigg. Is it Frigg? I think so. Frigg went and got every living and non-living thing in the cosmos to promise to cause no harm to the much-beloved god. She recalled to a disguised Loki that she had not gotten a promise from the mistletoe, for it was so small and weak. Loki had created a spear of mistletoe and approached Hoth, the blind god, who sat to the side while the others threw objects at Balder, celebrating his immorality. Okay. Loki aimed Hoth's hand to help him honor Balder. Having given him the mistletoe spear, Balder fell immediately to the projectile. Hoth had been killed and Loki bound. For Seti's job was to determine the truth of the story and deem the punishment sufficient. He went to visit Loki in his cave, along with Skadi, where he had been caught by the other gods and was now imprisoned. Loki admitted to his role in creating the spear and aiming Hoth's hand. That does kind of make your defense tougher, Forseti informed the trickster. Yeah, not sure the punishment fits the crime here, though. Loki grunted. You killed Odin's son. He killed yours and imprisoned you. He turned one of my sons into a wolf and made him attack his brother, spreading his entrails through the cave which the gods turned to steel and bound me with. In all your dealings with Odin, it didn't occur to you that killing his son would result in a outsized retribution? Well, I didn't intend to get caught. The death of Balder has long been known to be the first sign of Ragnarok. Why bring that about? Ragnarok is inevitable. All will fall and be reborn. Why fight prophecy? Why hurry it along? Forseti asked with some expiration. The answer of one who kneels to another. Why disguise yourself and prevent the release of Balder from hell? I couldn't allow my daughter to lose her guest of honor so easily. Could I? Loki deadpanned. Forseti considered that a confirmation of the rumor. Sigyn Loki's ever-faithful wife, sat nearby. She had come after Loki had been called to stay with him. Forseti noticed her sneer a bit when Loki called Hel his daughter. Hel, along with Fenrir, noticed her sneer a bit when Loki called Fenrir in World Serpent your Mongodir. I don't know how to say that. I don't see it on there. Okay. Had been children of the giantess Argeboda. Thanks, charismatic. Thanks for the head pat. Did I say your mom, good dear? I don't think so. Is that what it sounded like? Jormon Gondor. Gondor. Your punishment is here, is just. You killed the most beloved of the Aesir, and in return lost the child and were imprisoned to keep you from further meddling. Loki and Signin looked away from him then, her to hide her tears, and him to hide his rage. However, Forseti continued, the punishment does not address you disguising yourself and stopping the efforts to return Balder. For continuing to rob the 9 realms of his presence, I brought Skadi along to add to your punishment as well as fulfill a promise she made to you long ago. For as long as Balder remains in hell, this snake she hangs now will drop its venom onto you. Signin, while innocent of any crime, you've been a part of his antics for too long. You may stay here with this bowl and catch the venom from the serpent. You are not obligated to, however. Loki lashed out in rage then. You'll pay for this, Razvarg? You're a coward. At that, Forseti and Skadi left the cave. Hours later, Signy went to empty the bowl and venom dripped onto Loki's face. His thrashing at the burning caused earthquakes on Midgar. Close enough. Sorry. Alright, so that was the end of that chapter. So, as a recap, because I know some people came in later, so I do recaps in between. We are still in the realm of the gods, basically. And, it seems like Forseti is kind of like remembering about his encounters with Loki. And apparently Loki tried to trick I don't know, like him and Odin. I think it was Odin. Correct me if I'm wrong. Him and Odin had a little like issue or something because of his son being turned into a wolf, and it seemed like he tried to trick to get his son to bite Odin's hand or somebody's hand. And basically Forseti had to be the judgment of that. So Loki was punished though for doing all of that, along with who was it? Signin? I think it was Signin. Well, not really punished, but she was with Loki, like they're together, so. Alright. So now we're on chapter 12. Alright, a small raven appeared on screen with subtitles. Hi, I'm Forseti the Raven. I'm am ready to render judgment. The text reads, the camera view changes to an overhead shot of a white mat with the double-sided axe symbol. There are 2 bins set up beside each other with a treat dispenser attached. The bins are labeled as Cohen and Johnson, the 2 leading Democratic candidates in the primaries. I can't remember. Oh wait, your name. Charismatic. I wanted to mention to you when I was talking to you earlier, but I didn't want to do it in like twisted streams. But if you're interested, I have started like a book club in my Discord. If you're interested, I can get that for you. So, okay. Today we're choosing which candidate is worth of victory. The Raven proceeds to pick up small babbles and place them in bins, each drop dispensing a small treat. At the end of the video, more items have been placed in the box labeled Cohen. Cohen is judge-worthy by Forsetti. Tune in tomorrow for a look ahead to the Kentucky Derby. I am very familiar with Kentucky Derby. Cooler Talk user Jinx the Raven. 362,000 views. Loki was set free though. Odin is using him on Earth. Something doesn't feel right. Forsetti rose from his throne and headed to Odin's hall to ask about Loki's activities. He passed halls to other gods still not awake or at strength, decrepit compared to his own fully rebuilt palace. He reflected on those gods, remembering what he could and yearning for the rim to be whole again. He entered Gladsheim. He entered Gladsheim and approached the All-Father. Odin, may I ask for your wisdom? He said, bowing his head momentarily. Of course. What troubles you, Forsetti? My thoughts lately have been of Loki and his crimes. I have been told he is free and in your service now. Do you know if has been changing our stories as he influences the Midgardians? What are you insinuating, child? Odin asked dryly. Do you believe I'm not in control of him? No, All-Father, it's not that. Or is it that you believe I've told him to change our story? No, of course not. Loki reports his activities to me and gives insight into how our efforts are being received. His work has returned many, though some aren't as attractive to modern Midgardians, and his efforts lead nowhere. My poor Balder has barely been recognized in more than a title of some game. You asked for wisdom, but only pester me with assertions. What is it you seek? Did Loki erase me? I've seen the stories of old and how they're told now. Stories I was in, but no mention of me. There's altars and monuments all around the Viking lands, yet not one of mine still stands. I cannot spend time on your squabbles with Loki. If he left you out of stories as he told them, then you would need to speak to him as to why. Any indication he is working against our best interests, and he is returned to the cave. What power do you hold over him? His freedom, that is all. Forsetti turned to leave and experienced a flashback. He was sitting here in the hall with many of the other Aesir. Odin stood before many of those assembled and reported on his activities. He had freed Loki and put him to work on Midgard. Belief was dwindling, and he believed keeping the trickster on a short leash would allow him to influence the writers of the time. He remembered feeling weak, the others too. They all agreed to the plan, putting their faith in Odin. Forseti left the hall and walked up the hill to Bifrost. The bridge connected Asgard to the other realms and would be the path that Loki would need to take. The imposing Heimdall stood watch, ever vigilant for attack. Heimdall, old friend. Forseti, it is good to see you again. How long have you been back? I don't get much news here anymore. Not too many travelers between the rooms. Not long. A couple of weeks. I'm sorry I haven't visited sooner. I will be sure to come more often. I don't believe you need anyone to tell you news. However, Farseer, this is true, Heimdall chuckled. Can you tell me, Forseti ventured, has Loki crossed recently? And has he been up to anything detrimental to us? Heimdall's face soured at the name of his old nemesis, the one foretold to kill him at Ragnarok. He comes through occasionally during his work for Odin. I don't understand much of what he does in Midgard. Mostly it seems he inserts himself into dreams or makes people think of certain things. Have you seen anything else? Anything that would prove he's been harming us? Nothing of note. He's been doing his work for thousands of years though. Both before and after I fell asleep. You slept well? Forseti asked. Of course, we all did. Loki ensured there were writings and stories to be told that would reawaken us, but Odin assured us it was inevitable. We would be forgotten for a time. The Christians were too powerful then. Do we know for sure that Loki slept? Is it possible he has left alone for a time? It's possible. Things got a bit hazy there for a while. If he had been up to anything nefarious, I would have found it. After all, you're never really alone when I'm watching, Heimdall said with a wink. What's that supposed to mean? Remember the time when you stole Fula away from her duties to Frigg, the virgin maiden to Odin's consort? You did it. You haven't told anyone, have you? No, Heimdall laughed. I've seen more than my share of Aesir, Vinir, Midgardians, and giants getting up to things they rather keep secret from others. You've nothing to worry about, Forseti. I've nearly forgotten Fula. Has she returned? I don't believe so. Forseti thanked Heimdall and took in the view of the burning Rainbow Bridge. He felt another flashback come on and soon saw Loki walking across towards Midgard. He hadn't trusted Odin's plan to release Loki and walked him to the bridge to ensure nothing happened while still inside Asgard. Loki had glanced back and smirked before disappearing into the distance. Back in his mansion, he paced the floor. There's more to this than I'm seeing. Why am I fixated on this troublemaker. I feel as if there's something just out of reach. His mind raced as he stared at his blank viewing mirror. He felt his mind flickering, reaching for a memory. He embraced the feeling and let his mind wander. Soon he saw himself standing over the mirror, observing Midgard. He saw Loki telling stories to scholars and poets and working to preserve pieces of art depicting the gods. As he went to turn away, he heard a crash. He saw Loki destroying vases with Forseti's story. As he watched, he saw his own altars being destroyed or claimed by other religions. Some pointed towards the sites by Loki in disguise. The mirror showed Loki's face, dirty and filled with rage, as he set fire to libraries of Germanic and Norse writings. Soon, Forseti saw himself collapse in a flashback. This is where he had fallen asleep, after watching Loki destroy his legacy and being unable to intervene. So, our chicken heads video did really well, Megan started. Even though it did get a lot of angry comments from Vegan Cooler. It wasn't even real chicken heads, Morgan replied while rolling her eyes. If they had paid attention, they would have been able to see the melting ping pong balls as the bag opened. I think it's safe to say they weren't looking that hard at what we told them were bird parts. That's not our fault. Also, who cares? We got this 45,000 views on that vid. Gotta break a few cups if you want to be the center of the cooler talk, or something like that. Yeah, we need to follow up though. Those are good numbers. But this chick made a stone altar that was actually a cake. And it's at like 150K. She's not wearing a bra, Meg. I don't think anyone cares about the cake. Well, maybe not that cake because she turned around and... Damn. Focus your brain here. We need numbers, woman. Megan had been captivated by the story of little Ava from Canada and her rise to internet celebrity. She insisted that if that girl could do it from literally the dandruff Latin scalp of the world, then two cute goth girls from Indiana could do it. Morgan agreed and went along with her. Meg had been her best friend since junior high when she intervened on Morgan's behalf against a teacher that was teasing her about her chunky-soled boots. Morgan was new to the school and had been intensely anxious about her appearance. She had matured early and liked to wear baggy clothes and taller shoes to look more proportional. She had gotten quite tall since and adapted a more prurient wardrobe, but was always loved the pimply girl that accused a teacher of being a weird pervert to draw the attention away from her. Megan had been drawn to Morgan since the first saw her. She stood out among the brightly clothed students and embodied a drab muse. She had moved from Indianapolis to their backwater town, and Megan hadn't met anyone else in their town she would describe as not a Friday night football fanatic dork. She had been working up the courage to approach her and ask to hang out when she saw her being questioned by her creepy math teacher. There was a rumor she made pretty girls sit up front so she could see under their skirts. Morgan looked upset, and Meg couldn't help herself. Why are you harassing her? Why are you such a weird pervert? Come on, Morgan. That had been that. They were inseparable from that moment. Morgan helped Megan become more comfortable expressing herself, mostly in black, and Megan helped Morgan learn the ins and outs of their town and which weirdos to avoid. I'm betting skinny pale goth in a black bikini making an offering would do well, Megan teased. Morgan was pretty sure Meg was not into girls, but she had made jokes about her doing bikini vids enough that she was starting to question herself. Had she misread their friendship? Was she missing out on perks? Let's push back a bit and find out. Probably not as well as Big Titty Goth Girlfriend. You're a whole trending category on some sites. Sites you're visiting? Maybe. Meg laughed and trailed off, talking about doing a vid together on the beach in a very business-like manner, while resuming her phone scrolling. Well, that doesn't tell me anything. They continued their strategy session, deciding to play on their already mildly successful creep factor so as not to isolate their burgeoning following of what they assumed were either horror fans or chicken haters. It needed to be their best production yet. After all, Ava really hit the big time when her follow-up trash can video posted. With the right My Chemical Romance track and effects, there was sure to be a Hot Topic sponsorship around the corner. Morgan was planning to go to school for film, and Megan had always loved doing makeup and special effects. It was time to make their portfolio piece. First though, Morgan had to call off sick to her job at Panera Bread. I don't know, my lip has a sore and I'm having really bad cramps. I don't know if I'm getting my period or having a herpes flare-up. I can't be in front of the public today. She hung up the phone and looked at Megan, who was giving her a raised eyebrow. That was my shift lead, Gary. He gets uncomfortable about anything girly and doesn't push the issue. Plus, I don't want him thinking I'm a viable mate. They went to their rooms and changed into their most endorsable outfits, grabbed their gear, and headed out. They jumped into Megan's aging Ford hatchback and started driving to Alpaca State Park. Morgan watched the trees as they passed and clouds turning red with the setting sun. She had forgotten to eat dinner, assuming she would eat at work. Meg wouldn't stop to get drive-through as she wanted to be sure they got the right lighting, and I have the blood packs cooled. If they get too warm, it'll be runny. There had better be food afterwards, or my blood-covered face won't be the scariest thing she sees. After finding a parking spot at the far end of the lot, away from the families packing up from pool and picnics, they unloaded their makeup bags and small battery-powered ring light. They followed a walking trail until they found a nice break in the canopy and turned off the path. After some debate, they settled on a fallen tree that was mostly in shadow. Morgan set the lighting up to make sure they wouldn't be bleached out by the light falling in the area behind them, while Megan worked on drawing up a mark of Forsetti. She used some of the fake blood as well as some slimier bits of foliage from along the stream nearby. They applied their stage makeup and began their intro. They needed to get it right and get the gore shots from the sun before the sun moved much lower. Alright, so that's the end of that chapter, and that is where I'm stopping for tonight.